Okay. So I've just started the recording. Okay. So hello, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for being here today. Some of you have been with me for quite a bit already. You've been to maybe the workshop that I gave on NLP and quantum healing. And you might have been in all the 3 sessions so far, or you might have been in some of them. But for those of you who don't know me, I've already sort of been introduced, right? My name is Maria Extian, and I'm a neurolanguage coach, which is a methodology which brings together neuroscience and coaching for the teaching of languages. I'm also a millennial mindset coach. The 2 tools that I use mostly in my coaching are NLP, of which I am definitely a master practitioner, having trained with one of the co-founders of this tool, Richard Bandler. And I'm also a quantum healing practitioner, having trained with Dick Harbers, the late Dick Harbers, an Australian coach. As it has been mentioned, I have a post-graduation in coaching by a Portuguese university and many other certifications which are not required now to be mentioned, but a lot of things related to coaching. I am a very curious person, a very inquisitive mind, and I love updating myself in terms of the latest knowledge about the areas that are of my interest. So to give you a little, so as I've said, I mean, I'm Portuguese, I live in Portugal. I lived in South Africa for 4.5 years. So it's always nice to hear someone saying, oh, I'm South African. Yeah, but welcome everybody. It doesn't matter where you are, because as much as I love South Africa, I love very much any place in this world. I am a person who loves to be in multicultural environments. And so I'm so happy that you chose to be here tonight. For most of you, my late afternoon. For some of you, it's already early evening, or you might actually be into already in the middle of the evening, wherever you may be. So let me just give you an overview of what we've been doing for the last 3 sessions. We started on the first session, we started by looking at NLP, what it is, its origin, and its main principles, what is at the basis of NLP. And then on our first session, we went on to look at some other, how actually we looked at the NLP model of communication, which is actually quite important, as well as the importance of the mind-body connection for not only the way we think, the way we behave, our states, but also the way that we can actually work with our body to affect our mind, and how we can work our mind to affect our body, because it's not like they are 2 separate things or at all detached. Anyone who has studied the human nervous system knows that everything is connected. So thinking that those 2 things are separate entities couldn't be further from the truth. Then in our last session, we actually looked at ways of bypassing the subconscious mind. Any person interested in personal development, any person interested in psychology, any person interested in coaching knows that most of our behaviors are stored in our subconscious mind. And whenever we want to effect a change, we definitely need to use or reach the subconscious mind to operate the change at that level. And sometimes the subconscious mind tends to be a little bit resistant of change, okay? And therefore, we were looking at ways of bypassing the subconscious mind, and so that we can be able to operate change without the subconscious mind wanting to stop us on our tracks. Okay, so that was, in a nutshell, what we did for the last 3 sessions. Now, today we're going to focus mostly on something which on NLP, it's called submodalities. Now, we're going to look at the importance of submodalities, how we can work with them. So this is going to be very, very practical. So the people that have been training with me know that I am extremely pragmatic. And so I love helping you understand NLP and how it works. And part of it, a huge part of it, is actually giving you an experience rather than anything else. Okay, and today it's going to be extremely experiential. Okay, so it's going to be probably one of the most experiential sessions that we've had so far. And I hope for those of you who are joining us today for the first time, this won't become overwhelming because you're lacking a little bit of the previous sessions. So I'll do my best to guide you through what is happening here. But I would always encourage you, since it's been, as far as I know, it's been made available, that you, whenever you've got the chance, go back to the previous sessions, so that to a certain extent, you can catch up with what I have shared so far, okay? And so without further ado, in one of our sessions, can't remember which one exactly, I don't know if it was, I think it was the second session, we talked about representational systems. And representational systems are also known as modalities. So modalities are representational systems are modalities. And what exactly is that? So when we looked at the NLP model of communication, I shared with you that the way that we absorb information is through our senses. Our sense of sight, of hearing, of touch, and sometimes also through our taste and smell. So those are the representational systems. And in the second session, the session where I talked about representational systems and the importance of knowing our representational system or identifying the representational systems of other people, of the people that we are interacting with, I even gave you a quiz so that you could come to become aware of what your main representational system was. Given that we absorb information through all these senses, but some of us prioritize some of them rather than the others. And usually there's one which is the prominent one, and then there's a second one, and then the other 3 are in the background. Now, some people are more visual, some people are more auditory, other people are more kinesthetic. Now, kinesthetic might be the word that exactly very good. Some people have learned their lesson. I'm looking at the comments. So sometimes I'm making some comments regarding the comments that I'm actually reading in the chat box. So the kinesthetic word might be the one that you might think, okay, what exactly does that mean? Kinesthetic means the people that whose representational system or main modality is either related to emotions, practical learning, the sense of touch. So kinesthetic is related to that, sense of touch, emotions, and practical. Yeah. Exactly. They feel things more, they learn better when they do things rather than listening or watching. Okay. And if you remember, I did say that the least predominant representational system is, can someone finish this sentence? The least predominant representational system is, very good, auditory. Okay. It's the auditory. So much so that I drew attention, especially for people who do public speaking or people like myself who are teachers, right? Because I'm both a teacher and a coach. So attention, the mic open, please mute yourself. Thank you. So I drew people's attention to the fact that when you're doing a presentation, you better bring into your presentation all representational systems. Do speak, but do use visuals and do make sure that you give people an experience, a practical experience of what you are sharing with them, because that the more representational systems you use, the more likely it is that people will understand your message, because you're catering for different a different audience, or an audience with different predominant representational systems. And not only that, but also because the more representational systems we have available to us regarding a certain piece of information, the likelier we are to remember that information in the future. Okay, if you are anything like me, people can actually give me, share a message with me or give me information just auditory, and next thing you know, I can't remember what I was told. So I need to see some sort of written message or something along those lines, because people telling me something alone will not help me remember. I'm not that auditory, okay? I'm mostly kinesthetic, I must admit. And my second predominant representational system is visual. So auditory is what I am the least, okay? And most people are the least auditory, with some exceptions to the rule, okay? One size doesn't fit all. And so it is the way that we look at things in terms of coaching. Okay, each person is a person, and like we say in NLP, map is not territory. And what does that mean? That we cannot generalize. We cannot even think that this is the way I do things, this is the way I look at things, so everybody else should look the same. No, nothing could be farther from the truth. Because we are, yes, all human, but at the same time, all different. And if you ask me, that's the beauty of it, okay? That each one of us has its own uniqueness. Yes, some of us are more similar than others in so many different aspects, but in my opinion, again, the more, the merrier, okay? I usually say that diversity is the spice of life, and that's definitely, I truly, truly believe in. Now, let's then go from modalities, which are these 5 senses, to submodalities. Now, submodalities, what is the importance of submodalities? Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start, but let's put it again in a nutshell, right? This is not necessarily a PhD course. This is a course that is meant to open your horizons and somehow feed your inquisitive minds as far as you want to absorb the information and as far as NLP is concerned, okay? So what exactly are submodalities and what is the importance? Let's start with the importance of submodalities. Submodalities are basically when we take these modalities into the nitty-gritty. So what exactly do I mean by that? So let's say that we're talking about the visual modality or the visual representational system, right? But not all visuals are the same, okay? Some visuals might have color and some visuals might be black and white, and some visuals might be big and some visuals might be small. So the pictures in our minds are not, again, all the same, okay? So different experiences might have a different structure. If modalities is what we use to encode information, submodalities are actually the structure of the way we think, the way we experience the world, our lives. That's the way we structure the experiences that we've had. And these submodalities are actually at the basis of most NLP techniques, of which I've already used a couple throughout our sessions. And today I'm going to use some more. So these submodalities are basically the foundations upon which NLP was built, okay? And especially Richard Bandler at some point did make submodalities like the centerpiece of how NLP works and how transformation can be achieved. And when I'm talking, let me give you a few more examples of what these submodalities can be like for different representational systems, okay? So if we go back to maybe even the workshop about NLP, where I used a technique that we're going to use today again, which was called the swish pattern, okay? I asked you to have two pictures of something in your minds. So I can't remember exactly what it was now, but it might have been something along the lines of a good memory and a not so good memory, okay? Actually, we started with the not so good memory and then we looked at a good memory. And basically, so you had two pictures and I used the good memory to kind of delete the picture of the bad memory. And if I remember correctly, the feedback that I got after that, we went through that experience, a lot of people told me, oh, this seems possible now, okay? So meaning that their representation of what was possible changed because the submodalities of the possibility became stronger than the submodalities of what was not possible or of the bad memory. And so the change, even if you weren't aware of it, the change happened because the submodalities of the possibility became stronger than the other ones. All right. So And I remember that at that point, when we did that exercise, I asked you a few questions about the quality of the pictures that you had in your mind when you accessed those two different experiences, the good one and the not so good one. So when it comes to submodalities in terms of visuals, for example, I've already mentioned that the picture can be black and white or in color. It can be a picture that is near you or far away. It can be bright or dim. It can be in a different part of your visual spectrum. It can be, you can be associated with it, which is when you experience the picture from the inside out. So it's as if you're part of the movie, of the picture. You are in the picture and you're seeing the picture, you're seeing the scene through your own eyes. Or dissociated, which is when you're looking at the picture from the outside in. So as if you are an observer of the picture, okay? And it can be focused or defocused. It can be framed or having no frame at all. It can be like a movie, there's movement, or it can be still, and so on and so forth. So that's quite a few submodalities in here for the visuals. And then there's also, you know, the submodalities of the auditory representational system. So when the picture in your mind has sound, that sound can be stereo or only mono. It can be fast or it can be slow. It can be high pitch or low pitch. It can be verbal. You can hear people talking, or even yourself talking to yourself, or it might just be a tune, for example. That it can have a different rhythm. It can be clear or muffled. It can be fast or slow. So pauses can be strong or weak. And what else is there? Oh, and even the location, they didn't put it here, but the location can be different, which is also very, very interesting. For example, let me give you an example how changing submodality or an aspect of a submodality can change the way that you perceive something. So let's say that you have a lot of internal dialogue, for example, right? It would be interesting for you to pay attention to the quality of your internal dialogue. How do you speak to yourself? Okay, how do you speak to yourself when you get stressed? And how do you speak to yourself when you are calm? Do you use the same tonality? Do you use the same speed? Sorry. Do you use the same speed? I don't know why this is not going back. Sorry, I don't know what is happening here. Okay, there we go. So as I was saying, when you're having this internal dialogue, it will be interesting to understand what's the difference that makes the difference. What's the difference of your internal dialogue, for example, when you are under stress, or what's the quality of your internal dialogue when you're calm, relaxed, etc. Okay, and for example, let's say that the location. If you pay attention to yourself talking to yourself, where is that voice coming from? Okay, does it have a specific location? Is it coming through your right ear or your left ear? What happens if you change location, for example, in the case of a internal dialogue in a stressful situation? What if you would change the location of where that voice is coming from? What if you would change the rhythm at which you are speaking? What if you would change the tonality? Okay, the chances are that you would feel different, okay, because you changed the quality of the submodalities. Okay, does this make sense? I hope so. When it comes to kinesthetics, you know, we can think of, yeah, do you feel heavy or light? Again, where is the location? Where is whatever is happening? If it has to do with touch, okay, I'll get back to that question in a second. So if it has to do with touch, is it smooth or rough? Does it come with temperature? Is it hot or cold? Etc., etc., etc. So that's quite a bit of things that can come into the, how does it make you feel? Okay, what are the emotions associated? What are the senses associated? Is there a particular place where you're feeling whatever you're feeling? Etc., etc. So the question here is, what if someone doesn't pay attention to from where the sound is coming from? If the person doesn't pay attention, it should pay attention. Remember that I usually say that awareness is the first step to change. So pretty much the first thing that we need is to become aware of what's happening. Okay, so if you're not paying attention, please start paying attention and then play with it. Okay, play with it and see what happens. Okay, what changes do you want to introduce in whatever is happening so that you can change the way you feel? You can change the way that you look at things. And this leads me to our very first exercise. How can we bring changes? What kind of changes would be my question? What kind of changes are we talking about? But having said that, let's hold that thought, okay, of how can we bring about changes? Like change location, oh, you just change it, okay? Let's say that your internal dialogue is here, just see it going to the other side, okay? Experience it on the other side, put it on the other side, okay? It's that simple, okay? So you are the master of your mind. As soon as you start realizing what's happening, then you can make the changes, the necessary changes to make, you know, to bring change about, okay? So it really depends on you. The change in location is also the same thing. But like I was saying, rather than waffling away here, let me give you an experience of what I'm saying in practice, okay? Because that's the best way of understanding what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and I'll probably will have to do two things actually. One is, just give me a wee second. Okay, one is actually, I'm going to share with you a document in the chat box, but if anything happens like the last time, it might actually happen that you might have trouble accessing the document. So I will have to send it. So this is it. Okay, so I'm going to share it, I think, or I hope. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Thank you so much for the suggestion to share it with the host. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a little bit, okay, so that I can also send this to the host, okay? So let me send this to the host too. So that the host can share it with you on WhatsApp. So some of you will be able to access it in the chat box, like the last time. Some people could actually open it from by accessing it in the chat box, but I'm also sharing the document with the host. Host, please let me know in the chat box or Otherwise, if you have received it, please. And if you have, please let me know whether you are able to share it. What request am I supposed to accept? Let me see. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, gotcha. So please, if you can, has anyone been able to access the document in the chat box?
Hello, someone.
Okay, so it should be there, but for some particular reason, I don't know why it can't be accessed in the chat box, but I've already sent it to the host, and you should be getting it on WhatsApp soon enough. Okay, but in the meantime, let me just explain to you what exactly it is. Okay, well, I shared it in the chat box, and I can't understand why it's not coming up for you. Honestly, I don't understand. However, I've already shared it with the host, so hopefully it will be in the WhatsApp group soon enough. Okay. While we
No,
wait.
ma'am, I don't have. I haven't received.
Okay, so let me see, because I did send it to. So who
Please
am
check
I?
your chat box.
Pardon?
Please, you can check your chat box, please.
Well, I've already, wait, I don't know why this is not going to everyone in the meeting. I'll share it in the chat box again. And which I just have. I don't know if you can get it. It's going. It says it's been sent successfully. If not, where shall I? Okay, some people received it, but maybe it is because they are on a computer. I'm getting out of my presentation yet again. And who can I send this on WhatsApp? Because I sent it to Tayab.
Ma'am, you can send me as well if the sir is not here. He might be busy.
Okay, and how do I get in touch with you? Do I have your number?
Yes, I have sent in the chat box.
Oh, okay. And now to send that to WhatsApp, it's going to require a little bit of gymnastics on my part. So let me just give me a second. I'll do my best. Okay, so wait. 0055. Okay. Now I've got the number for WhatsApp, but I might need an international code. What is the international code? Let me see.
+92. It is +92.
Okay. Just give me a second. Okay, +92.
Ma'am, I have sent my number again with the code as well.
What's that? I'm having trouble following what's being said because there's a little bit of background noise. Okay, let me see. Okay. Busy at work to see if I can send this. Okay, let's see if this is going now. Give me a second because I think it should be going your way. No. Can you please check that you received it? Okay. You should have received it on WhatsApp. Let me know if you've received it.
The submodalities one?
Exactly, that's it.
Yes, received on the group.
Very good, very good. So can you please share it? Thank you very much. You're welcome. It's going, okay? There we go. So what exactly is this document that I'm sharing with you? Let me explain what I would like you to do with it, okay? So basically the idea is if you open the document, all right. So if you open the document, which I will from, okay, from the chat box, all right. And I'm going to share it with you so that you can see what you're getting, okay? Okay, so you should be receiving something like this, okay? So you've got all the submodalities here to the left, the visual ones, the auditory, the kinesthetic. And the idea is that I'm going to ask you to bring to your conscious awareness, to your mind, the first thing would be a good memory. So I want you to bring a good memory to your mind. I would invite you to close your eyes, okay? And because when we close your eyes, we have easier access to our internal world, our internal representations of something, okay? So most of the time when we have our eyes open, our eyes are exposed to the outside stimuli, okay? Which means that we're paying attention to what's outside, not aware of what's going on inside in our heads, which is actually what is helping us making sense of what's going on outside ourselves, okay? So when I ask you to close your eyes, I'm actually asking you to close your eyes so that you can shut off the outside stimuli and you can pay more attention to what's going on inside rather than outside. Does that make sense? So the idea is that you close your eyes and you bring to your awareness a good memory. And then what I would like you to do, you probably are going to be opening your eyes and closing your eyes, because the idea is for you to register the quality of the picture that you have in your mind. Now, you don't necessarily have to go over all these submodalities, but do go through some of them. Namely, for example, is the picture black or white or color? Is it near or far from you? How big is the picture? Is it bright or is it fuzzy? Or where is the location? Is it in front of you, to your left, to your right? Where is it? Are you inside the picture living it, or are you looking from the outside in? Very, very important, okay? Is it moving or is it still? Okay. These are, for example, some of the most important ones. If it is a movie, is it fast or slow, for example? If it is still, okay, good. Then you can move on to auditory. Are there any sounds? Okay, if there are sounds, where are they coming from? Okay, is it internal dialogue or it's external noise or sounds? Is it loud, normal, or soft? Etc., etc. Okay, and then kinesthetic as well, very important. What are you feeling? Where are you feeling it? What's the intensity of 0 to 10? How intense is the feeling? Okay, and that's pretty much what I would like you to do. So please do bring to your awareness a good memory. As you have your eyes closed, start looking at what comes up for you. And I'm going to give you roughly 5 minutes to be able to access the picture, see how much you can grasp the quality of the picture, and then just come here in this number 1 column and register what you can, what you become aware of, the color, the size, the this and the that, okay, which I've just mentioned. Once the 5 minutes are gone and you've registered as much as you can, then I'll give you the next step for number 2. I would also invite you to, in number 1, and the number 1, write good memory, okay? And if you want to put what memory it is, okay, fine. But at least good memory, so that you know that number 1 is the quality of the good memory. Okay, is that a deal? Deal? Number 1 doesn't necessarily mean high quality. All we want is number 1 to be the good memory. Okay, doesn't have to do with the quality of the picture. It has to do with the picture of what I'm asking you to access, which is the picture that you have in your mind of a good memory. Okay, what does a good memory look like inside your head? Okay, what are the submodalities that are present in that good memory? Very good. Someone has already 2, 3, and 4 means something else. Okay, one at a time. Number 1 is a good memory. Like I said, once the 5 minutes are up and you've registered as much as you can regarding the submodalities, the quality of the submodalities of the memory of the picture in your mind, then I'll give you the next instruction for the next one. Well, I'm asking you to think of a good memory. So it's not by chance, okay? It's on purpose. I'm asking you to think on purpose of a good memory. If the one that came up is not good, look for a good one. I'm sure even if it is a tiny weeny thing, there's a good memory in there. 5 minutes to access the picture and notice as much as you can as far as the quality of the picture goes in terms of visuals, auditory, and kinesthetics. Okay? Close your eyes, notice what you notice, open your eyes, put it in the checklist, close your eyes again, look at the picture again, see if there's anything else that you can notice in terms of visuals, auditory, and kinesthetics. Okay. I will show the checklist. Okay. Let me get out of here. Let me bring it up. Okay, here we go. Okay, can you see it? You won't be able to see everything in one go because the list is quite big. Let me see. I would love to make it a little bit slow. Okay. If I do it like this, I think it's almost there. Okay, some people are done. Very good. I'm just going to give you 1 more minute so that then we can move on to the next stage. Okay. Okay, what isn't making sense? And I'm asking the person who just wrote something in the chat box. What isn't making sense exactly? Yeah, does it feel heavy or do you feel light? For example. So very often we are in a situation that we say, oh my goodness, I feel heavy. Interesting. Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? Yeah. So very often we feel light, you know, oh, you know, it took a weight off my shoulders. Really. You just have to look at the picture, and the picture in your mind. Are you in the picture? Are you seeing things through your eyes, or are you as if you were in a gallery, in an art gallery, looking at the picture from the outside in? Do you feel a high vibration or a low vibration, for example? Answering to the question, what about vibration? Have you ever entered a room and you said, oh my goodness, this feels, okay, so that is a low vibration. Or have you ever gone to a place where you feel, wow, what a good vibe, amazing? That's a high vibration. We use these things all the time. We don't even realize, right? We want to start paying more attention to what we're saying, because we very often say very, very, very interesting things that inform our experience. Very good, that's good. It's a good memory, so I'm glad that we have happy feelings. So it's probably a high vibe, correct? Tonality. Are we talking about tonality in terms of auditory? Probably. Tonality has mostly to do with, you know, is what kind of tonality is it? Is it a relaxed tonality? Is it an aggressive tonality of what's being said? Okay. Timbre is more or less the same thing. You know, that's why I said, you know, don't pay attention to every single one of them. Some of them are actually quite important. Pitch is important, tonality is important, rhythm is important. Okay, then there's a couple of them which are a little bit too nitty-gritty for what we're doing here right now. Okay. Right, so let's change now. And we're going to move on to 2, okay? And 2 is going to be a bad memory, okay? Or a not so good memory, if you want to call it that way, okay? So a memory that you're not particularly fond of. And the idea is that you, let me see. The idea is that you do the same thing again. Okay, so bring that memory to your conscious awareness and notice. Okay, you're going to be the fly on the wall, basically. Okay, so you're going to notice what you notice. That's all in the spirit of curiosity, no judgment. Just curiosity. What does this picture look like? Okay. And again, do the same thing. Notice what you notice. And again, just fill in the checklist with not all, but the most important submodalities. Again, color, size, location, is it moving or is it still? Is it focused or defocused? Are you associated or dissociated, etc.? You know, everything that we go through in life is meant to inform or teach us something. So, you know, I would say that it is acceptable, right? If I have to go back, or rather not go back, but if I have to look back at my life, even at the things which were not joyful, happy, I can either dismiss them, which is not a good idea, or I can learn a lesson from them, okay? Because dismissing is resisting, okay? Accepting and working towards resolving whatever made you feel unhappy or makes it a bad memory. Exactly, there we go. So there's always something. And, you know, if we think in terms of life, life is not a straight line, right? When we go into flat line, we're gone. Even our heart teaches us a invaluable lesson, which is for as long as you're alive, your heart is going up and down. The heartbeat is going up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's part of being alive, okay? So there's no happiness. How do you know what being happy feels like if you never felt unhappy? How do you know? What's the difference, right? So there's always two sides. I usually say there's at least two sides to the same story, okay? In order to know peace, we have to know conflict. In order to know happiness, we also need to know unhappiness, right? And knowing unhappiness is what makes happy moments so precious, right? So there's always a lesson to be learned. And for as long as there is a lesson to be learned, in my opinion, it was worth it. What doesn't kill you make you stronger. Okay, so so how, if someone doesn't have a bad memory, for example, how do you know that you're happy when you're happy? Yes. Tonality related to tone, sounds, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, timbre is very much like tonality as well. Just forget timbre for the time being, just focus on tonality, okay? Okay, I'm just going to give you a few more minutes and then we're going to move on so that we can cover everything there is to cover. Panoramic. So can you see it's like a view or is it focused? Okay. So is it like a frame of, or do you have like a panoramic view? Yeah, it is. It is. That's why I said that timbre tonality, you know, let's focus on tonality. Okay, one more minute and we're going to move on. how intense it is. Is it low intensity that you can almost not even feel it, or is it really intense, you know, like in excitement? Are you extremely excited, or are you, you know, you couldn't care less? So it has to do with the intensity. For example, if there's a feeling of excitement in whatever your experience, not in this case because we were working with the bad memory, but let's say if there is a sadness, for example, on a scale of 0 to 10, how sad are you? That's the intensity. Okay, very good. So let's for the record, you've already got enough. Exactly, can be fear. So usually feelings like fear, sadness, etc. are low vibration. Okay, then excitement, joy, they're high vibration. Okay, why do we say I feel low? Right? 1, 2, 3, and 4 are just numbers for you to record the experience. So number 1 is going to be the good memory. Number 2 is the bad memory. Okay. Nothing of this does have a particular meaning. Okay, let's not rationalize this, because at the end of the day, it's not really at the end of the day, it's not really how it works. Okay, because remember that all of these things are going in your head most of the time without you having any awareness that this is what's happening. Okay, so rationalizing this too much, it's not the point. The point here is starting to notice what is happening inside your head, how you are, how your good memories, are, what are the quality of the experience of your good memories in terms of visuals, auditory, and kinesthetics, and what are the qualities of your not so good memory or bad memory in terms of visual, auditory, and kinesthetics. And the next step that I want you to do now is actually compare the two experiences. What is different? Ah, there we go. See, for one person, the bad experience, for example, had more kinesthetics. Let me ask you something. Are you kinesthetic? Paris, are you kinesthetic? What was your representational system? Exactly, there you go. That's why you have more. That's why you have more kinesthetics in the bad one. It's only natural, okay? So, but I would like you to compare the two. Where are the differences? Okay. Oh, there we go. So, what are the main differences? For example, Pars has already, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, and I'm so sorry if I'm not, but she's already realized that for example, in the good memory, the visuals were stronger than the kinesthetics, and yet in the bad memory or the not so good memory, the kinesthetics were stronger than visuals, and apparently auditories as well. So that's already a realization that you can have. Okay. And then I'll explain to you what the point is. Okay, I'll tell you what the point is. But notice what's different. Where are the differences? Even in the visuals, how are the visuals different? In the good memory, are you associated or dissociated? In the bad memory, are you associated or dissociated? Which is the bigger picture, of the good memory or the bad memory? Is the good memory black and white or colorful? What about the bad one or the not so good one? Okay, that's what I would like you to notice. And then I'll explain why I wanted to notice what I wanted to notice. Okay, can you do that quickly? Just compare the two, 1 and 2, good memory, bad memory. What are the main Okay, very good. The quality of the good one was better. Picture quality wise. Okay, very good. So let me ask you, does that mean that the good memory was colorful? Yeah. So it's brighter. The colors are more vivid. Is that it? Good. Is it a big picture or a small picture? Mind you, this doesn't have to be the same for everybody, okay? Yeah, happy one was big. There we go. Very, very good. Oh my goodness. See, people, did you know that you were doing this inside your head with different experiences? This is the big point, okay? Is right now for you to realize that different experiences are coded, are structured in different ways. And why is that relevant? Because in the change process, you want to change the quality of those internal representations that you have in your mind about different experiences, usually the two faces of one and the same thing, like memory. Okay, on the one side you have the good, on the other side you have the bad or not so good memory. Okay, and so what I'm going to invite you now, after you look at these differences, notice what the qualities of the good memory is. Okay, notice what the quality of the good memory is. Those are the things that I want you to notice the most. Okay, so that in the next exercise, you will know what to do when I tell you to do it. Okay. Okay, there you go. See? Again, let me remind you that, you know, you may be paying attention to the chat box and reading people talking about their quality of their pictures, but I go back to what I said at the beginning. One size doesn't fit all. Our experiences, the way we experience, the way we structure our experiences can be totally different. So you have to be aware of yours, not other people's. Okay, we're working with the quality of your internal representations. Very good. Okay, there we go. So if you notice, but remember that I'm asking you to notice the quality of the good memory, the qualities of the good memory to the best of your ability. Okay, to the best of your ability. Okay. Very good. So what I would like you to do now that you looked at the qualities of the good memory, I want you to close your eyes and bring up the not so good memory, or bring to your conscious awareness the not so good memory or the bad memory. And I want you to rearrange that picture based on the qualities of the good memory. So you noticed how your good memory was structured in terms of visuals, auditory, and kinesthetics. What if you change the bad memory and give it the qualities of the good memory? Make the picture the same size. Make the picture the same color. Give it the brightness or whatever the characteristic of the visuals had in the good memory. Okay, bring the qualities of the good memory. Rearrange the not so good memory or the bad memory by bringing in the qualities of the good memory. Okay, can you do that? Can you give the picture of the not so good memory, the bad memory, the qualities of the good memory? And when you do, when you rearrange the picture by bringing in the qualities of the good memory, what happens? Okay, but what was the feeling in the good memory? As well. I'm sure. But how did it feel? Still. Feelings and thoughts and pictures are all associated. So kinesthetics, visuals and auditories are always, okay. So there we go. Bring a smile into the other picture. Very good. How does it feel smiling? Okay, bring that feeling into the other memory. Put it in the same location, same size. What does that mean, headache? You're having a headache now? Do you know what, if that is, I would love to understand. Aisha, when you say that you wrote headache, does that mean that you have a headache now? Oh my God. Okay, can I tell you something, Aisha? Okay, very good, slight, very good, because you're doing it yourself and you know, this is the first time that you do it. Okay, no, probably not. What I'm going to share with you is the following. Every time that we're learning something new, every time that we're practicing something like we did now, what's happening is that your neural pathways are adjusting to the new knowledge, to the new experience. And very often that comes together with a headache, which means it's actually a good sign, because it means that your neural pathways somehow were changed. And the more you do this, the easier it becomes, and the new connections that you're doing in your brain are going to become stronger and stronger. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. So when you're learning something new, very often we get, okay, we've got someone with we've got someone with a hand raised. Would you like to unmute yourself and tell me what it is? Oh my God. Could I ask the person who raised his or her hand to unmute herself or himself and ask me? Okay, let's see if I can hear what you're telling me. Is someone talking to me? I've got someone here with a hand up. So if you want to talk to me, just unmute yourself and ask me a question if that's what you want. Or you can ask the question in the chat box and I'll do my best to answer. Yes, I know. So I'm waiting for a question if that's the case. Exactly. So some people are actually managing to do this. Okay, so let me see. Okay. Taras, can I ask you to unmute yourself and talk to me, please?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. So let's work this. Okay. When you bring that feeling to your conscious awareness, how does that feeling materialize?
Materialize in what sense?
Sorry, I can't understand. Wait, because there's someone with their mic. There's a lot of people with their mics. Okay, let's go, Paras. When you invite that feeling to come to your conscious awareness, how does it manifest in your conscious awareness?
Like it feel like I can't word that out, but that's more of a feeling.
Okay, and if that feeling were a color, what color would it be?
Black with patches, like distorted black.
Okay,
No.
thank that black with patches and all those qualities to have come to your conscious awareness. And when you thank it, notice what happens.
Like like you want me to change that color?
I want to thank whatever came to your conscious awareness. When you thank that black color with patches and the qualities that you described to me, when you thank it for coming to your conscious awareness, notice what happens.
Patches are getting better. Like
okay, thank the patches for getting better. And when you thank the patches for getting better, notice what happens.
That's becoming more brighter. The dull color is more.
So thank the dark color for becoming brighter. And when you thank the dark color for becoming brighter, notice what happens.
It's going more towards whiter.
Whiter?
Yes, the color is.
So thank the picture to have become whiter. And when you thank it, notice what happens.
Okay, the feeling is going, the bad one is getting a bit bearable, like it's getting, it's not that bad now, it's getting better.
Not that bad. So thank the feeling for being not that bad now. And when you thank it for being not that bad, notice what happens.
Well, it's saying thank you back to me for being kinder.
Pardon?
It's saying thank you for being more kinder towards me.
Very good. And how does that feel?
It feels nice now.
Very good.
Thank you.
So thank it for being nice and for recognizing that you were kind to it. And when you do that, notice what happens.
Well, it feels nice now.
Very
good.
It
Actually does.
Okay, are you okay?
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What did we do here? This is exactly how this works. We changed submodality. Einstein usually used to say, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If Paras had stayed in the same modality, meaning the modality of kinesthetics, of feeling, the chances are that it wouldn't be easy for her to overcome the feeling. So what did we do? I invited her to go into visuals and give me the color that represented the feeling. And then I worked with it. And then we managed to overcome it. Does that make sense? This is exactly what submodalities are all about. You change the submodalities, you change the experience. Does this make sense? Exactly. Because you cannot change something at the same level. You cannot change a problem. This is also Einstein. You cannot change a problem at the same level that it appeared. Okay? You have to use a different level. So we went from kinesthetics to visuals. to be able to change it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if we had stayed in the same modality, the chances are that the change would be a lot more difficult to do. And that's very often what happens. You know, people feel a certain way and they want to change the way they feel, and they stay in the feeling, in the feeling, in the feeling. Okay, what about changing into a different modality? What does that feeling look like? If it were a sound, what sound would it be? And then work with it. Just notice and thank, and notice and thank, and notice and thank until you come to a resolution of the situation. Okay. Of course, and very good, Paris, because sorry, because now I read a question and it's playing in my mind, but just a second. It's absolutely, different colors can mean different things for different people. Okay, for some people, red is danger, other people, red is passion. Okay, so that's what I mean by map is not territory. Okay, because every single one of us has a different map of the world based on his or her experiences. Okay, so what we did now, and I'm going a little bit off script, what we did, not necessarily now, because actually right now with Paras, I brought quantum healing into the play, which will be the topic of our next three sessions. Okay. And what we did was actually mapping across, meaning notice the qualities of one experience and applying of a good experience and applying those qualities to a not so good situation. Okay, and notice what happens. Now, some exercises of pure NLP take quite a bit of practicing to change, to allow change to happen. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it's quick. Some people actually reported here that they had felt better when they applied the qualities of the good memory to the not so good memory. But other people, for example, didn't get such a great experience. Okay, it was a little bit better, but not a lot better. Okay, so that's why, for example, I use a lot more quantum healing in my sessions, because quantum healing is actually a very, very powerful tool. Okay, now I've got a lot of questions here, which I'm not necessarily going to be able to answer them all, and especially the ones that require an intervention. Okay, for example, someone sent me, it was a direct message, but it was someone that had raised his or her hand, and which has to do with an issue which has to do with a death phobia. And believe you me, I know what it's like, because I used to be so afraid of death, and these days I'm absolutely not. Okay, but absolutely not. But the thing is, that would require an intervention which I cannot provide right now. However, in our next 3 sessions, which are also going to be quite experiential, and where I will be focusing mostly on quantum healing, which is, like I've said, the tool that I use the most these days, I would be honored to, at some point in the session, work with you. Okay. The chances are that there would be a couple of interventions which would be needed, but I can at least have an intervention with you. Okay, now someone told me I just can't change the color or add something new like brighter and something other. What stopped you from doing that, if I may ask, Aisha? What stops you from doing it? Would you like to talk to me? Because I would love to talk to you. And I know there's someone else with a hand raised. We'll get there, okay? Okay, what is happening then? What is that something that is happening? Can you be a little bit more specific? Okay, let's do this. Can you imagine that that picture is on TV? Okay, we have two participants with the hand raised. I'm noticing. I'll be with you in a second. Okay, so imagine that picture on TV. And now imagine yourself having a remote control in your hand. Can you do that? Okay, so now please use whatever buttons that you need to give that picture color. Can you do that? Okay, and now let's press the button that makes the color brighter. Can you do that? Okay, so how does the picture now feel? That it has color and it's brighter. And make whatever other changes you feel you see necessary to. Okay, and how does it feel that it's now that it's blue and brighter? I'm still waiting for how does it feel now? As compared to before you start using the remote, the remote control. I don't know. Aisha, are you with me? Okay, just different. Very good. But different how? Just use that remote control and okay. So use that remote control to keep making the changes which are necessary in terms of color, in terms of sound, okay? Bring into the picture the whatever changes that you want to bring into the picture so that it can get better and better. Whatever changes may be necessary, okay? And while you do that, I'm going to talk to someone else. I do believe it's Faraya. Would you like to unmute yourself and talk to me so that I know what your question is? Can you unmute yourself and ask the question, or maybe you want to ask the question in the chat box so that I can.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, you said not so good a feeling. From 1 to 10, how bad a feeling can we do it? I mean, any kind of bad feeling, or does it have to be within certain limits?
It can be any feeling.
Any intensity?
Any intensity, yes.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure any intensity can be worked with.
Yeah, anything can be worked with. That's actually a very good question because, you know, when you think of that intensity, what does that intensity look like to you?
Bright red.
Bright red.
Scary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when you thank the bright red to come into your conscious awareness, notice what happens.
When I thank the bright red.
Thank the bright red for coming to your conscious awareness. And when you thank it, notice what happens.
It becomes better, lighter.
Okay. So thank it for becoming better. And when you thank it for becoming better, notice what happens.
It lessens even more.
Okay, so thank it for lessen even more. And when you thank it for lessening even more, notice what happens.
It does change. You're right.
Okay. So what did it change to?
The intensity of that feeling has lessened to an extent which I can accept it more.
Okay, so thank it for lowering to an intensity that you can accept it more. And when you do that, notice what happens.
It stays the same. This feeling is, I just found out I have cancer. So that is that feeling. So it's lessened to a great degree, but it doesn't go away. You know what I mean?
I do. So talk to that feeling and ask that feeling, what would you need? What would need to happen for you to lessen even more? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, what was the answer? What does that feeling need to become even lesser?
For me to take charge of myself.
Okay, thank
And
the feeling for letting, okay, and?
And to let go.
Very good. So thank the feeling for letting you know that you want to be in control and let go. And when you do that, notice what happens.
Calm.
Second, because there's a lot of noise
calm.
in the background. Wait. Sorry, say that again.
Seriously makes you feel calm.
Very good. Can we leave it at that? Are you happy with
Yeah.
that? Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Any day. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Aisha, your hand is up. Would you like to talk to me again?
Ma'am, I have ever talked to you about the black picture and something like which brings changes in that. But I just never ever have feel about the intensity or the sound. I just can't hear about that.
Wait, what do you mean? I'm not sure I understood. Sorry. Say that again.
I had talked to you before that what's in my mind that it's a picture, black picture with the brown spots. There's a remote control in my hand and I have changed the pictures one by one. The colors was more brighter and brighter. I had seen the blue color. And
True.
but I just can't hear about the intensities and the vibrations. I just can't feel about. What should I can do to make it more better and feel like
To make it feel better, right? Is that what you mean?
I just can't feel something more better.
Okay, so you can't feel something better. Okay, so let's work with that. Right now, if that feeling were a color, what color would it be?
At start, it was like black in color, but after some times, it was changed and blue in color.
Very good.
Now
And the vibration, but I'm
bright.
talking about the vibration now. What color would the vibration that you're in right now be?
That's the problem. I just can't feel any vibration.
Oh, you can't feel any vibration. Okay, but what color is then the not being able to feel a vibration? What is the color that represents you
Blue.
not feeling the vibration?
It's blue color.
Blue color. Okay. Thank the blue color for coming to your conscious awareness. And when you thank it, notice what happens. When you thank the blue color, notice
Yes.
what happens.
I mean, it's like a plain flat picture, which is, and it feels like the color is more brighter and brighter.
Okay, so thank the color for becoming brighter and brighter. And when you thank it, notice what happens.
I mean, it's like a tube light from which the rays are coming, and we feel irritating. Our eyes feel irritating. Like just can't see. It's more brighter and brighter.
Sorry, I'm having trouble getting the sound. The sound is not getting through very clearly. Say that again, I'm sorry. So when you thank the color for becoming brighter and brighter, when you thank it, what did you notice?
Now I just can't imagine this about the blue color because it's more brighter and brighter. And like,
Okay, so
you can
thank the
much more.
brightness. Thank the
Yes.
brightness for becoming brighter and brighter.
Yes.
And when you thank the colors when you thank the brightness for becoming brighter and brighter, notice what happened. When you thank the brightness for becoming brighter and brighter, what happens?
It just nothing feels like the picture was same, more brighter, and it's like a like a tube light, which from which the rays are coming and itching our eyes. It's like that.
Okay. And when you thank it for becoming like that, notice what happens.
Feel like a frequencies and the vibration, something like small vibrations.
Very good. So thank the for at least now being a low vibration, a small vibration. And when you thank it, notice what happens.
Now everything is just like calm, smooth, and something good is happening.
Very good. Okay. Good,
Yes.
good. So there's some sort of vibration now, and it apparently feels calm and good. Okay. Which in my books is an improvement. Can we consider that?
Yes, ma'am. Please ask again.
I was saying at least now there is a vibration which is calm and good. So that is better than we started, correct? It's an improvement.
Yes, it's much better. It's much better.
Very good. That's it. Okay. Thank you very much, Aisha. Okay. So basically this brings the session to an end. So this was mostly an experiential and a demonstration session as to how to work with submodalities, okay? What is it that I would like you to take away from the session today? That very much all our experiences come with certain submodalities. And we want to become aware of the qualities of the good and not so good experiences. Because if you know what you're doing in your head, you can actually find a way of substituting the picture of the not so good memory or habit or state of mind by introducing, for example, the qualities, the submodalities of something that you know it's a good memory, a good habit, a good state of mind. Okay, because it is in the change of submodalities, of the quality of our internal pictures, of our internal representations of the world, that is the difference, that makes the difference. Okay, so I would invite you to become more and more aware of what you are doing in your mind when you are in an unresourceful state, when you are focusing on a bad memory or on a bad habit, on a bad behavior, and then look for the qualities of the opposite feeling, of the opposite memory, of a memory which is the opposite, or of a behavior which is the opposite, and so that you can actually bring those qualities into this specific situation, so that the least enjoyable situation can become more enjoyable. Okay, so we cannot change very often by staying at the same level. We have to change by taking it to a different level. It stands to reason. Okay, just a reminder that like Einstein says, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So you need a change, okay? A change in mindset, a change in the qualities of the pictures that you have in your mind to be able to overcome whatever the challenge might be, okay? This is how change, it's not by talking about things actually that you can definitely change how you perceive things. It's actually by changing the internal pictures in your mind. There is the change, or there is the difference that makes the difference, okay? Anybody that knows how the brain works, that knows that the more you do the same thing over and over again, the stronger it becomes, the stronger the neural connection becomes. So the neural pathway becomes. So that doesn't work, okay? Something else got to give. And the change in submodalities for NLP is definitely what is required for the change in a person's experience. Okay, that would be what I would like you to take away from today's session, if nothing else. Okay, so that concludes my session today. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was very practical, and practical is not necessarily for everybody. But I think I was asked exactly. Someone is saying everything is just under control in our mind. Sometimes, you know, sometimes, like someone said here today in the exercise that I took us through, Faraya, sometimes allowing is actually the key. It's not the controlling, it's the allowing. And if you notice what I did with most of these people here today, what we did was thank whatever came up. Okay? We didn't. And it changed automatically because we allowed it to be whatever it was at that point. And the moment you recognize that energy, the energy changes. Okay, so obviously, I brought quantum healing into what I was doing, because for me, it's the most extraordinary tool that I have in my toolkit. It's the one that brings a resolution the faster and the most effective. So in our next sessions, I will be very much addressing this branch of NLP, which is quantum healing. And I will be giving you still more and more experiences in terms of how quantum healing works, the way it works. Yes, Paras, you're kinesthetic, so you like practical more. You know, you're so aligned. So yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense, right? Let me just quickly give a look here. Okay, some people think that it became clearer tonight. You can do it. Someone is asking, so can we do good and bad habits? You just have to, you don't have to do anything, but you may want to do what we did for the good and bad memory. It's exactly the same thing. Think of a bad habit, think of a good habit. Look at the picture of the bad habit in your mind. What are the qualities of that picture in your mind, visually, auditorily, and kinesthetically? And then look at the picture of the good habit and then map across, okay? Find a way of changing the qualities of the bad habit by using the qualities of the good habit and applying to that particular situation that you want changed. Okay, so that's the idea. Is that clear? Very good. Nice, the game was interesting. Very good. Okay.
Thanks,
Okay.
Maria.
You're welcome. There we go.
You have any other question? Otherwise, we end this session.
Yes, sir, I'm here. So thank you so very much, Ma'am Maya, for this amazing session. It was really awesome. I was enjoying each and everything. I was responding as well. So thank you so much. I hope that all of you were enjoying, and definitely you'll learn something. And it is not for the class, not for right now. You have to apply all of them in your daily lives as well. Whenever there is any bad memory, you can replace it into a good memory. Definitely you can have your tips and tips so that it will be easy for you to remove bad memories into your from your mind and develop good memories. So thank you so much, Ma'am Maria. I'd be very thankful to you. Just wait a moment. I'll be sending you the number of Sir Tayyab Murtaza. And if you want the certificate of this course, definitely you have to contact him, and he'll be guiding you about each and everything that would be required for the certificate. And just wait for a moment. I'll be sending. And thanks to everyone that you have given your precious time to us, and hope you'll learn something. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, so it is farewell from my side and see you next week for another session now into the realm of quantum healing. Have a lovely evening and have a lovely week as well. Bye-bye.